So we have arrived at the end of the book of Leviticus. This Shabbat we read the final offering from that book. But first let me begin by saying that it is a custom that when you transition from one book of Torah to the next, that you conclude a reading with the word chazak, strength. Keep that in mind for a moment. In this portion, we are presented with a final choice. It's kind of the grand conclusion of Leviticus: blessing or curse, covenant or not. We've heard much through the text so far, reaching back to Sinai. From the fire and smoke on the mountain, we heard the first words of faith. Here, according to the rabbis, 2 years later, we are ready to move from that mountain and begin the long, steady march toward the promised land. Thinking chronologically, our portable temple has been fashioned, our priests have been chosen and anointed, all the tools for worship have been made, and it all comes down now to us. Are we ready? Standing on the precipice of the next stage of our own development, we are asked to choose. In effect, we are all Jews by choice. God laid out the Torah, its teachings, and all its depth and breadth before us. Here at this moment, in the shadow of our own Sinai, we are asked to decide which path we shall follow. Shall we take the proverbial road less traveled, or will we take the path of least resistance and surrender to the enticements of other nations? We are presented with one simple question: are we ready to be partners with God? Partnerships are not necessarily equal relationships, but they are relationships of mutual respect. So at this moment in this divine drama, are we ready to look to God with respect? God, our partner, has set some conditions for the relationship. If we engage in this covenantal encounter, if we follow the teachings, if we listen to our hearts, if we trust in the world, if we sense in the power of the unknown and the unseen, then God will be our partner and our guide. That which is weighty will be made light. That which is empty will be made full. He who is hungry will be sated. She who is needy will become rich. All we need to do is stand up and be counted among God's partners and live the covenant. But what would happen if we didn't stand up? If we hid our eyes or our thoughts wandered? Would the covenant stand? The answer is, of course, yes. For God never breaks the covenant with us. We drift and we wander and we schreigewalt at times, but God is there. The Torah lists punishment after punishment were we to drift away, and yet we know the only real punishment is the wandering alone in the world. When we remember God is with us, Ki Immanuel. When we forget, God is looking for us, waiting for us to return. Blessings do abound. So this Shabbat is about respect and relationship. It's about commitment and covenant. It is about recognizing blessings. It's about the choices we have made and the limitless possibilities that have been illuminated. From Sinai we were born, a people disparate and scattered, who shared a past but could not see their future. We found a guide, a partner, a visionary who took us from that rocky crag and carried us, sometimes kicking and screaming, into a future filled with blessings. 41 years ago, Congregation Emmanuel also made a choice. We too found a partner. We made a covenant. We joined hands for the journey. We moved deliberately, stage by stage. We have often taken the road less traveled. We moved forward because this partnership was forged with respect as its core and love as its cover. There have been no curses, only blessings. So many received and given over the years. And so as we read these powerful words from Torah, reflect on your blessings, both given and received. Remember the beginning, chazak, strength. The rabbis taught that to end one's cycle only inspires a new beginning. That's why we say chazak. It's also to remind us not to rest on our accomplishments. So what? You read a book. Move on, they understood. Well, today we honor our partner, our teacher, our mentor, our friend, our rabbi. Not for his completion, but for his beginnings. Today we say, chazak, chazak, v'nid chazek, for the strength we have given, for the strength we have received, for the eternal strength, and for the never-ending lessons from Torah. Amen. Ya'amod levarech et Sefer Torah, Harav v'chacham, Yisrael ben Avram v'Golda. Chacham. Of course. For those who have the Plaut commentary, we'll be reading Leviticus 26, verses 3 to 13, page 957.
Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch ata Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen. Im bechukotai telechu, ve'et mitzvotai tishmoru, va'asitem otam. V'natati gishmechem be'itam, v'natna ha'aretz yuvula, v'etz hasadeh yitain pirio. V'hisig lachem da'ish et vatsiru, vatsir yasig et zara. V'achaltem lachmechem lasova, v'shavtem levetach ba'aretzechem, v'natati shalom ba'aretz, v'shkavtem v'ein machrid, v'shba'ati chaya ra'a min ha'aretz, v'herev lo ta'avor ba'artzachem. Urdaftem et oivechem v'naflu lifnechem lacharev, v'radfu mikem chamisha me'a u'me'a mikem revava yirdofu, v'naflu oivechem lifnechem lacharev, faniti et lechem v'ifreti etchem, v'hirbeti etchem, v'akimoti et briti etchem, Va'achaltem yashan noshan v'yashan mibnei chadash totzi'u, v'natati mishkani b'tochachem, v'lo tigal nafshi etchem, v'hidalachti b'tochachem v'hayiti lechem le'elohim, v'atem tihiyu li la'am. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, mihiyot lachem avadim, V'eshbor motot olchem v'olech itchem komemiyut.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Now, before he sits down, on the count of three words. Chazak, chazak, v'nit chazak. Timing's everything.